ranking red Power Rangers. As any Power Ranger fan will tell you, this is the color that really makes or breaks a season. Usually the leader of the team, the front man, the heart of the season. Usually the storytelling is like put directly through the lens of the Red Ranger and his interactions with everything, with the villains, with his other Rangers, with the world. So if a season's going to be good, it comes down to, is the Red Ranger good? Some seasons can elevate the Red Ranger. Sometimes the Red Ranger elevates the season. Sometimes the Red Ranger holds back a season. Jason movie. Okay, there we go. I'm like so pink. I guess I'm just I did my best to match the aesthetic of this one. Anyways, okay, so I finally added in Jason from the movie. Now let's get started. Jason from the TV show, original Red Power Ranger. How did he set the bar? He set that bitch high. Okay, natural leader. One of the toughest Power Rangers ever. Anytime he went up against Tommy, some back and forth there, but if you're keeping track, he's kicked his ass more. He's an S tier. Rocky, purely in red, I'm gonna put him C. And it's not his fault. He was at a huge disadvantage because once the leadership aspect was taken away, because he's not a leader. He's one of the few Red Rangers on this list who's not a leader. Didn't really do much. Didn't add much. Got better in Zeo. Written off the show in the worst possible way, but I'm purely here to talk about what they did in the suit, in the color. Underwhelming, to say the least. Tommy, purely in red. Okay, I'm going purely off of what they did in the suit. And Tommy, Zeo, really good season. Turbo, his part in Turbo, really bad. I'm actually just going to put him in B. As a Red Ranger, I don't think there's anything too spectacular about him. It's weird. I mean, he's the GOAT Power Ranger, and red is the most important color in the series. You would think the GOAT Power Ranger would excel in red, but really, I mean, he did his best work outside of it. If I were ranking Tommy's colors, I'd probably go like green, black, white, then red. And I actually am having a hard time not putting black number one, but I got to give respect to Green with Evil. But next up, TJ. I'm going to put him in B as well, and again, purely off of what he does in red. And it's not even his fault. He's an example of that. He's a rare example of a good Red Ranger held back by the season he's in. Usually, Red Rangers are propelling the season forward, and he didn't do that, but I don't blame him at all. It was just such a bad piece of work around him. But he individually is good. It's just the season's so bad, it's really hard to put him any higher than B. Andros, for me, he teeters. For me, he's teetering, but, I mean, In Space is an absolute great season. The storyline of him and his sister, Corone, is a huge part of that. This lone wolf having to kind of relearn how to be part of a team while leading the team, very, very good. Leo, I think hugely underrated. I mean, they were supposed to be so like chosen by the swords, but he technically wasn't. His brother, we think he dies. He doesn't die, but seemingly dies, giving him the sword and having to take up that mantle of Red Ranger. And we see him continually work to try to be worthy of the sword and the sacrifice that his brother gave. Love Leo. I mean, definitely some of the most badass moments you'll see from a Ranger are Leo's. Definitely got to go S. Carter. See, this is an interesting one. In terms of pure leadership ability, which is a huge factor in being a Red Ranger, he's actually number one in that, in my opinion. As a pure leader, Carter is probably the best pure leader in all of Power Rangers. Is that enough to put him in S? I'm going to say it is. I mean, he's the best at a very important attribute to the color. I'm going to put him in S. He's in a good season. It's not to the level of TJ being held back by Turbo. Like Lightspeed Rescue is a good season. But we'll see some other Rangers later on that really help pull forward the Rangers around him into being good Rangers. Like we're about to get to in the next one. He doesn't have that aspect. So if you push back on Carter being an S, I would understand. But I think in terms of any Ranger who you're really following into battle, I don't know who you're really putting above Carter. And then Wes. This is getting annoying. But it's just the nature of the color. It's really easy for a Red Ranger to be an S character. And honestly, if I was going pure characters, obviously these two are going to be S. I'd probably bump him up one. But when you were purely talking about the color and what you do in it, it's going to be easy to be S. So that's why S is getting filled right now. Don't worry. It will not be a purely S. This is not going to be everybody's an S. Don't worry. We'll get there. But Wes, really, when talking about pulling forward Rangers, he doesn't just do it with Jen, right? Because Jen, as a character on her own, is obviously doing that with herself. It's the relationship they have with each other, each pulling each other forward in different ways, that really puts that show as one of the best in Power Rangers. That's one of the best seasons of Power Rangers. You're great in it. It's gonna be hard for you not to be S tier with that. Changing Destiny. Nobody embodied that more than Wes, maybe Eric, who we're going to get to. Just a great Red Ranger. Really did everything he could for his teammates, and making them better characters. I don't think the reach of his character improving the character of others. I don't know if there's any Ranger with more reach than that in this list. I'm going to put him in S, and I'm going to put Eric in A. A little held back because maybe a little overshadowed by Wes and Jen a little bit. He's obviously great. And putting him in A, that's a huge respect for him. But not a true leader. That's gonna hurt a little bit because that is a huge part of the color. Not to say it's a requirement of being a good one, but we're really having to pick at any little thing on this list because it's just filled with great characters. So I'm gonna have to put him at A just for. He joins the season a little later, just a little later than, other characters. And, when you're not the best color on your own team, like, you're not even your best of your own color on your own team, I don't know if I could put you S. Cole. I'll put Cole in B. Pretty cool. Is Wild Force a little too preachy, especially with Cole in terms of helping nature? Who gives a shit? Good message at the end of the day. Fun character. We won't talk about what he's done off screen. But I would just say it was just good fun. Nothing overly wows me about Cole. His heart and spirit, I guess. Not even I guess. Truly is one of the strongest spirits in Power Rangers. Seeing that in the finale, but the heart of a lion. But it's just gonna land him at B for. Nothing else stellar really being there besides being Tarzan of the Power Rangers franchise. Next up is Shane. Rest in peace to the actor. I'm not even entirely certain how to pronounce it. Peu. I'm not 100% certain. I hope that wasn't disrespectful. But Shane, as a character, as a Red Ranger, I'm not the I'm not the biggest fan of him. I don't dislike him. Is that too harsh? That might be too harsh. I'll put him in B for now. I could see me dropping him the more this list goes on. But just, solid across the board. But there really is nothing there. Honestly, there really is nothing there. I'm going to put him in C. Nothing, just very solid across the board. If this was a Ranger tier list, not just purely within the color, maybe I'd put him B. But, you're up against the greats in this one. And you're not standing out in any way. And neither is his counterpart, Hunter. Maybe I'm being... I don't know. I really do like Ninja Storm. I like the Bradleys. But I'm just going to put him in C as well. Ninja Storm is more known for its tone. being a more comedic season, which is great, and everybody fits into it pretty well. But I'm just going to put him in C. And then Connor. Connor is teetering, but I'm going to put him in A, actually. I mean, a little disadvantaged in terms of being a Red Ranger with Tommy being there, because any chance for him to really be a leader, it's not really there like these other Rangers, but definitely is one of the Red Rangers who grows the most into the role and as a person, because most of the time I feel like a Red Ranger is the Red Ranger for a reason, and the leader, right off the bat for a reason. But Connor just kind of learns to take things more seriously, tones down the sexism, which is a good thing. Not good that it was there to begin with, but a good thing. It really kind of, it's to show his maturity and how he grows up under the pressure of being a Ranger, and really stepping up into it. Really good. Another really good one, Jack. These last two were the seasons I really watched. This and the next one were really the ones I watched growing up. So Jack is going to have a special place in my heart. Elite organization. He comes in, becomes the leader of the team, saves the world, and then dips. Super cool. He's always looking out for the little guy. That's what he was doing as a street thief. And then takes on the responsibility of being a Red Ranger and excels at it. I'm going to put him in A. Maybe because the season, it put its focus on Sky Tate more than Jack himself. But, the moment of Jack passing the morpher to Sky to get revenge for his dad is an all-time Power Ranger moment. And he's a part of that. He's a great part of the season. Kind of a good question of authority that Jack has. Great character. I'm going to put him in A. Next up is Nick, who I remember liking as a kid, but now that I'm grown up, don't actually like him that much. I kind of wish him and Xander switched spots in terms of being Rangers, but or Ranger colors. I don't hate him, but just kind of annoying if you really watch it back. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but watching it back was kind of annoying. I don't get questioning Power Ranger or like magic with everything right in front of you. You have visual proof and visual evidence of it. Makes no real sense to me. Next up is Mac. One of the best reveals in Power Rangers of him being an android, but that's the most memorable thing about him, is that he's not human to begin with. That's it. Not much else to say about him, if I'm being honest. Sorry to say, but Casey's S. So I saw a joke on the Power Rangers subreddit about how everyone says that Jungle Fury's underrated, so it really can't be. And I hope you're right. I hope you're right in that, but I don't see enough love for individual characters within the seasons like we do for other seasons. People just kind of blanket statement, oh yeah, and Jungle Fury's good. Everyone knows Jungle Fury's good. You don't have to keep saying it. It's not underrated. But it might be, because I don't see the love for the characters that we do for other seasons. I see a lot of love for Wes. See a lot of love for all of, MPR, MMPR, TJ. We got a lot of love for him. But I don't see a lot of love for Casey, which his storyline of him improving, mirroring Jared's improvement while he's being controlled by Daishi. The improvement itself, having to work to improve and be worthy of the Ranger status. Another reason Leo is at S tier. I guess I love that trope. And just, pushing yourself forward. One of the great messages of Power Rangers, who's really doing that better than Casey? He's S tier. Scott. RPM is one of, usually I kind of go back to it being the best season of Power Rangers. So clearly the Red Ranger has to be high. And he is pretty high. He's not quite S tier. He definitely grows as a Ranger and as a leader from being pretty annoying, like, I'm the leader, I'm the boss, you got to do what I say, to being more understanding and being willing to work with his team. So that's great. The story about what happens with his brother during the invasion, his relationship with his father. Power Rangers are really good at relationships with fathers, less so mothers. But that was great. But he just takes a little bit more of a backseat to like Dylan, to Ziggy, even Summer to a degree. So it just held back a little bit by that. So he is an A tier, which is really good. Man, everybody's at least good. Like, I still like these characters. Everyone has to be good, right? I don't understand the support that Jaden gets. I don't get it. One of the worst Rangers in Power Rangers, and it's because Samurai is my least favorite season of Power Rangers. I have a video up on it. I've gotten, I posted in the subreddit about that video, and people in the comments like, people are allowed to have their own opinions. Fuck off. I'm sorry. First of all, yeah, obviously people are allowed to have their own opinions. I'm not taking away their opinion, but I'm going to challenge it. How do you like Samurai? Purely nostalgia? I didn't like it when it was coming out. I was 9. I was the target audience. I had the perception to be like, oh, this is bad, because it's bad. It's so bad. Some of the worst acting in Power Rangers. I don't blame the actors. I'm convinced the directors, as soon as every character correctly said their lines, they just went to the next take. They didn't bother about caring about the proper delivery of them. They just said, you said them, move on to the next. A Jesus-like figure as a Red Ranger, didn't love it. Did not love it. I mean, he's not a good leader. I don't care what people say. Them just giving him a speech with music rising in the background does not mean that it's hitting emotionally. Fuck Samurai. I've talked about this. I don't like Jaden. Don't blame the actor. I want to make this so clear. I don't blame any actors for anything on this. Do not blame them one bit. Purely blame directors, the studio behind it, the whole production behind it. How do you let that out? I don't understand. Same thing could be said with Troy. I don't know. Just a little less better than you energy than Jaden. Jaden, he's probably my least favorite Ranger. Maybe Mike from Samurai, just because they represent the season for me. I just hate that fucking season. Megaforce, I was able to get through it. Samurai is the only season of Power Rangers I haven't been able to get through. I'll do it one day. I promise I'll do it one day, but that's why Lauren's not in this list, because I never saw any episodes with her. I'm not putting her in here. I don't know. Couldn't get to it. Anyways, Troy, Megaforce is probably the more consensus pick for worst season of Power Rangers. There's fan service in it. That's the only reason I was able to get through it versus Samurai. I was like, oh, shit, at least I get to see a legendary battle in Megaforce, which wasn't worth it. But, I don't even think I would need to say, just very boring. Very, like, they try to do stoicism, but stoicism doesn't have to be boring. And then Tyler. Tyler's pretty good. I like Tyler. Yeah, now that I'm looking at this, I think everything's fitting pretty well in the pictures. I think I like how this list is coming together. Yeah, Tyler, B. I just feel like a lot of the other Rangers that are above him shine brighter in their seasons. Like, he's outshined by maybe Shelby, which if we're doing a tier list on Pink Rangers, which I'll probably do eventually, she's going to be high up there. I mean, looking for his dad, that's a great angle for a character to have. But, yeah, I mean, I don't actively like this anything about him. It's just, there's nothing telling me to pull him up any higher, so I'm just going to put him at B. Brody, I mean, I'll put him at C. I mean, he kind of belongs in between these two. I don't necessarily want to make a new tier, so just know that he's like right here. But I'm just not sure. But just purely out of the hate for the other two seasons, I'll leave Brody ahead of him. A slave. That's very interesting for Power Rangers to do. I'm trying to think of any other slave Rangers. Can't think of one off the top of my head. Wish it maybe impacted his character more. Ninja Steel is... I don't hate Ninja Steel. I don't really like it either. Victor and Monty are the highlight of the season, in my opinion. That speaks volumes to the Rangers. Sarah in that season, I will be honest, probably the most attracted I've ever been to a Power Ranger. But yeah, so I'll just leave Brody at C because nothing really happened. Devon. If I had to pick a Ranger to represent missed opportunity, it's Devon. I still like Devon, but I feel like they could have done so much more. The actor brought it for the character, and at the beginning, I really thought that there was going to be more story focus on him, his relationship with his father, him being the leader of the team, and it just fell short. I just didn't think they explored those themes as well as they could have. It became a very Nate-heavy season. Don't dislike Nate. I do like Nate. I outwardly do like Nate, but I don't love him as much as the show maybe wanted me to. I really wish they focused more on Devon, who, man, I really thought was going to be like an all-time Ranger. I thought he was going to at least get to A. I thought he was going to at least get to A tier, but he just didn't, and it was really disappointing. Zayto just finished Dino Fury a couple days ago, maybe a week or two ago. So it's still brewing. He's at least B. Let me get that out of the way. I like Zayto. I think what they wanted to do with Troy of some of the stoicism, they really combined the best some of the aspects of, maybe not even the best, they just did the aspects better, but of Troy and Brody, out of place alien. I know Brody was an alien, but leaving when you're 10, being out of the loop on things, they did that with Zayto to much greater effect. But I'm gonna put Zayto, man. The things that are holding Zayto back. Not exploring the ramifications of him okaying the Sporax beast. Things that destroyed his planet and are currently, attacking Earth. There was like an episode or two where he felt the weight, but you would think that would carry on a little more. So that's what holds him back for sure from this. But does it hold him back from A tier? That might be a song. But he's genuinely one of the funnier Rangers. Dino Fury is one of the funnier seasons, actually. I'm not putting it up to, Community or any other, or Seinfeld, or, any genuine comedies, but it was genuinely one of the funnier seasons, and Zayto had a lot to do with that. They did the fish out of water thing very well. I think I just like the character. I'm trying to talk myself into A, so I'm just going to put him in there. That's my personal opinion. If you have him a tier lower, I would totally understand. If you have him a tier lower than that, you're hating a little too much. But Zayto, A tier. That feels right. Now, we're about to have a real discussion here. Jason from the movie. Where does he rank? In a per minute basis, I'd probably put him S. I genuinely did love that movie. Well, maybe love is a little too strong. I did really like that movie. The main reasons being Jason and Billy, Kimberly to another, a lesser extent, and then, Trini and Zach were really they're just there. Not quite just there, but just there adjacent. But Jason, man, that cast was great. I think they played together as a team really well, and he's a big reason why I really wish it could have gotten a sequel. I would have loved to have seen him continue on more. Per minute basis, he's S tier. I just think him coming into his own, he made some mistakes before he became a Power Ranger, becomes a Power Ranger, really starts owning up to the responsibility, truly does become the leader. One of the better relationships between a Ranger and a mentor with him and Zordon, because they give Zordon being a previous Red Ranger aspect. Really, I thought that worked really well. I would have loved to have seen a sequel. I'm going to put him A. I really did enjoy his performance. I enjoyed that cast. I thought he worked well with the cast. I believed him as a leader. I believe him about his care for Billy. I just believed it. There's no other way to put it. This is my tier list. Yep. Yeah, I actually feel pretty solid about this the more I look at it. Clear golden age of Red Rangers. Very clear golden age right here. These are one after another of hits. And then you're like, and then this guy right here. Man. Obviously leadership ability matters a lot. The care you have for your team clearly plays like a big role. Growing as a character yourself, even while having to lead others, continual self-improvement, growing as a person, huge aspects of it. I mean, that goes for any character, besides just having to be a leader, but doing that while being the leader. That's my ranking. Let me know what you disagree with. Let me know what you liked in the comments down below. I've got more videos coming out. Not everything on this channel is Power Ranger related, I promise, but it is one of my favorite franchises, so I'm going to talk about it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and keep gaming.